It's odd that some construction sites never have an issue with theft while others are plagued by it. Let me tell you about one that falls very firmly into the second category. There was this high-end home construction in a well-to-do suburb, and we'd reached the fit-out stage. An ideal time for an entrepreneur to borrow a few interesting items. In the garage, we'd stored much of our equipment along with various pieces and appliances that were to be installed in the house. We thought it was secure until we arrived on site one morning to find about $10,000 worth of kit missing. Turns out that with sufficient force, someone could drag the garage door open, evidenced by the rather obvious boot print partway up the wall. Oddly, the back-to-base alarm actually did trigger, but for some reason, the alarm company wanted an alarm from 2 sensors. But there was just the one in the garage, which triggered 17 times. There wasn't much we could do about the loss, but we could hopefully stop the next one. So we rigged up a couple of motion-sensitive cameras. Sure enough, we had more goods stolen the next night. Rushed to the camera system to see what we had. The two entrepreneurs were pretty obvious, as was the very distinctive clothing they were wearing. While reviewing the footage, I noticed my colleague looking out the window with a stunned expression on his face. His head slowly turning from left to right. Was he okay? Was he having a stroke? Look at that, he stammered, pointing out the window. I turned and I was as shocked as he was. One of the entrepreneurs in the same distinctive clothing was cycling past our site. We kept a close eye on him and saw that he turned up into a driveway 2 doors away. So my colleague went for a casual wander up the street. The garage door was open and he could see a bunch of our stuff in there along with more that he didn't recognise. And by this time, the boss had arrived. He called the cops straight away. We must have spooked the dudes with our walk by, because about an hour later, a truck arrived and was quickly backed up to the garage. The boss was back on the phone to the cops, screaming that they had to get over here right now. Yeah, all his stuff was about to vanish. Somewhere in the middle of his second or third breathful of abuse, who knows how many plainclothes police cars and police came swarming in from every direction. The boss suddenly looks up, mutters, don't worry about it, and hangs up. Before the first police car had even come to a halt, 2 extremely large policemen had jumped out and hauled the entrepreneurs out of the truck. They were on the ground, firmly restrained in seconds. Funnily enough, we almost spoiled the party. One of the plainclothes cars was parked outside of our site and we were expecting a delivery any moment. So one of our guys wanders out to have this car move along. He walks up to ask what they were doing here. All he gets in return is a really firm, "Go away, really, go away." It turns out that we were far from the only site being robbed by these guys. Further, we later learned that they'd hired the garage from the old lady who lived in the house and were cruising the suburb during the day, looking for targets, then coming back to raid them at night. Well, we were fortunate enough to see one of them returning to their lair and broke the case open. Make sure that all of your insurance certificates are in order by recording them on sitesupervisor.com.